Alright, everyone. I am here to give you my review of Breaking Bad Season 3, Episode 13. And this episode is called Full Measure. Now, this was the last episode of the season, so after I'm done reviewing this episode, I am going to, at the end, give you what I thought of this season overall. So when I am done. And by the way, this episode, Measure, came out on June 13th, 2010. As for this episode, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a great way to end off the season. I actually think there's no other way you could have ended it. So let's start it off. So the episode starts out, it shows a flashback of Walter and Skyler when they bought the house. And I think Skyler was pregnant with Walter Jr. because she was a little bit pregnant, which I thought was kind of cool. And I think it was cool that they showed this. It goes through the house. Walter talks about it first. He doesn't want to buy this house because he thinks they can do better because he wants more rooms and all that. But we know eventually they ended up buying the house. So, yeah. And then it cut to the theme song. And then it cuts to the actual episode itself. And we see Walter, and he's just waiting for someone. And his windshield's all messed up because of what happened when he ran over those drug dealers. And then Mikey, Victor, and Gus pull up. And Walter goes to see him. He puts his hat on. And Gus isn't happy. He's upset that he killed those drug dealers, people that were his employees. But Walter said he did it because he felt like that he owed Jesse his life. He felt like he owed him to save his life. And Jesse said the only reason... Well, he said that he was high when he killed him. But he said another reason is because he thinks that you're the one that gave the orders to kill Tomas. And Gus is pissed. He's like, you're asking me if I ordered a little boy? And he's like, I'm not asking you. And then he says that you have two... And he even tells them that him and Jesse's partnership is done. Jesse has moved on. He's traveled on other places. So then Walter says that you have two options. Option A, you can either kill me right now. And they even checked him to make sure he didn't have any weapons. But he says you can either kill me right now, or and then track down Jesse Pinkman, or I can continue cooking, and we can end our 3-month contract and look at this as like a business dispute. And you can get me a new partner. And Gus agrees, but he gets to pick Walter's new partner. And then they said that's fine. And they mentioned that he should get his car fixed so that way it won't get like reported to the police or anything like that. And he picks Gus. And now every time they cook, Victor's watching them. So yeah. So then Mikey is with his granddaughter, and they were talking about rhinoceroses, joking about it, and then he drives away, and he keeps some balloons, and he uses them to electrocute them and destroy them off the wire, and cuts the cameras out, and he's at like a place. And he kills 2 people. And then one part was funny was when he takes a woman's shoe and he throws it. And one guy just kept shooting his gun. And then Mikey kills him. And then Mikey ends up using a guy's hands. Like he was holding his hands up like this when you would see a gun. And there's another guy with the gun. And he's using the guy's hands as like directionals, so he knows where the guy is because he's like behind the wall, and he shoots him, and he shoots that guy that's behind the wall and kills him, and then he breaks the guy's hand and has his wife drive him to the hospital, and then this was all to see if they could find a way to track down Jesse Pinkman. That's why you did all this. I'm not exactly sure why, but that's the main reason why. So then Gus is asking all these questions, like he wants to know how to cook the meth. how Walter does it, his whole process, and Walter's fine with it. And Gus realizes that there's some bad vibes going on with Walter because he feels weird working with them. But Walter says, "No, Gus, you're fine." So then later on, no, not Gus, Gail. So later on, Gus goes to visit Gail, and Gail was like jamming out to like some like music that didn't even sound like it was in English, but I thought it was pretty awesome. He was jamming out to this, and he tells him that Walter has cancer and he might not have very long to live. He doesn't, and he said that he doesn't like to talk about it, but he doesn't told him exactly how long, and he wants to know if Gail would be able to take over if Walter died with a new assistant. And Gail said, "Well, yeah, I probably could after a few more cooks." And then Gus agrees, and Gail is still asking how to do all this stuff, and Walter says, "Well, I'll show you when we get there." He asks how to do a certain thing, and Walter says that he'll show him how to do it when we get there. So then Walter, no wait, then Mikey goes to visit Saul, and he wants Saul to give away where Jesse is, but Saul can't do that because, well, he doesn't just want to because he knows what's going to happen. But he says, "Well, I can't do that because it's all a part of a lawyer. You can't give away where your client is." So then Mikey forces him to, but he Saul writes it down on a piece of paper, and there was a fake address. So he pretty much sent him on a wild goose chase. So then Saul and Walter go to the laser tag place where Walter was originally going to invest his money, and I think they think he's. And Victor did follow him there, but I think they thought that originally Walter went there was to see the place. But that's really when Jesse's been hiding. That's where he's been hiding. And Walter tells Jesse that you know, it hasn't been very good for him because he knows that Gus is gonna kill him once he's done with his partnership. And he's just gonna have Gail take over. And Victor's been watching his every move because he wants them to make sure that Walter teaches them how to do his whole process on how to cook meth. And Walter's trying to hold back as much as he can. And the only thing that's holding him back is Gail's lack of confidence of thinking he can't do it. So Walter says that the only way that this can happen is he has to kill Gail, because then Gus is gonna need him because Gail is the next chemist that's gonna help cook this stuff, but Walter won't need him. But Jesse tells him, "No, you should just go to the cops with this stuff. The DEA would love you if you turn this guy in." But Walter says this is the only way we can do this, He says that Jesse's is thin because they don't know Jesse's there, and he wants Jesse to track him down, and Jesse agrees. So then later on, Walter's at Skylar's house, and Jesse calls and gives him the address, and Walter says he's going to do it when he gets dark, and Jesse says, "You don't have to do this, just go to the cops with this." So then Walter's about to go do it, and then Victor pulls up and tells him that he has a chemical leak in his lab, and he needs to go over there right now. Walter's like, "Okay, I'll get my car and follow you." But Victor says, "No, they want me to bring you there." So then Walter goes there, and Mikey says, "Come on, go down there." And Walter then begs for his life. Tells him, "Please don't do this. I'll do anything. I'll cook for free. I'll tell you where Jesse is." He even gives away that Jesse's actually there, and he says, "I'll call him. I'll have him meet me somewhere." So then he calls him, and he tells Jesse that he can't do it anymore. Jesse has to kill him. So he tells Jesse to do it now. So then they realize it was all a trick, and they're about to kill him, but Walter says, "You might not want to kill me because Gus is going to need me." And then he tells him what Gail's address is. So then Victor goes over there to save Gail, and Mikey tries to call him, but his phone's on vibrate, and his music's blaring, and his tea kettle's going off, so he can't hear it. So then Jesse comes up. He doesn't really want to do this. He's actually crying about this, and Gail tells him, "Please, you don't have to do this." And then this episode ends with Jesse shooting him and kills Gail. and that was the end of the episode. Not really a lot to talk about. There was a lot of stuff that happened in this episode, but this was a very simple episode, I thought. I thought it was actually really good. A lot of stuff did happen, though. A lot of good shit. But I'm not going to lie, I really did like... It was just simple. They didn't do anything big, but they did... Well, they did stuff big, but they didn't do anything, like, complicated. It was just focused on this one storyline with Walter and all that. But I really did like this episode. I thought it was a great way to end off Season 3. And yeah, that's my thoughts. So, overall, I thought Season 3 has been the best season, not gonna lie, of this show. You had the whole thing. Now Skylar knows that Walter is you know, a I guess a drug dealer, but he's cooks meth now. They got divorced, not legally. Like, Skylar never filed the papers, so I thought that was cool. The whole thing with Tuco's cousins running roughshod and just killing people was awesome. And then the whole shooting scene with Hank and them was awesome. And maybe the whole thing too with Hank. I thought Hank was great this season. He really didn't do much at the end because of the whole thing. He was injured, but other than that, I thought he was really, really good. I liked the stuff. How he almost came close to finding out Walter was Eisenberg. I thought that was cool. And the RV getting destroyed, that was awesome. Skylar meeting Saul was cool. I think the episode when Walter was just going crazy, and when he was in his class and he didn't say anything, I thought that was cool. And now Walter, I guess next season's going to be invested in the car washing business. I think that's going to be cool. What else was cool in this season? Jesse was really cool in this season. I really liked him and this whole... He was very clean this season. He wasn't really a big drug addict or anything, and then until the end. And the whole thing, how he finding out about Combo's death, and how Tomas was all behind it and he was with that gang. I thought that was cool. Gus was really cool this season, and we're going to see more of him next season now. Just a great season overall. I can't even tell you how good this season was. Pretty much go back to all my videos and I can just tell you, because I pretty much... This was a great season. I really did like this season. This is definitely the best season they've had. But now let's see how Season 4 turns out. I'm actually looking forward to watching it. I'm not going to watch it right now, but I'll watch it either this week or next week. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'll be back to do another video at some point this week. And that's pretty much it, guys. See you later.